The star at the center of our solar system is not a constant, unchanging fire. Its stability affects the global power grid, it affects maritime shipping, and it affects every satellite in orbit. The danger does not unfold over centuries, but within hours. The first changes are subtle, the later ones are not. By the end, the world still functions, just differently. The sun is dynamic and volatile. Its apparent stability is an illusion measured against the brief span of human civilization. Geological and astronomical records tell a different story. Violent outbursts that dwarf anything our species has seen. A superflare is planetary in scale, releasing the energy of 1 trillion hydrogen bombs in minutes. Tree rings and polar ice record past hits from these events, long before electronics existed. The question is not if it will happen again, but when. The 1859 Carrington event crippled the world's telegraphs. Even that was minor compared to a Miyake event. Solar proton events 10 to 20 times stronger. Our modern world, a global village resting on delicate electronics, has never faced such a shock. The first indication is a silent, invisible wave of high-energy X-rays and extreme ultraviolet radiation. It slams into the ionosphere, supercharging the layer and causing it to become highly absorptive. High-frequency radio waves are completely absorbed, triggering an immediate and total radio blackout on the entire sun-facing hemisphere. Transoceanic flights lose contact with air traffic control. Maritime shipping is cut off. A second, more dangerous component arrives: a deluge of solar energetic particles. Satellites are the first to suffer. Their sensitive electronics are not designed to withstand such a ferocious bombardment. Protons tear through circuits, causing short circuits that burn out components. Astronauts aboard any orbital habitat would face a lethal threat, receiving a fatal dose of radiation in minutes. Even passengers on high-altitude flights would be exposed to dangerous radiation and widespread electronic malfunction. Finally, the main event arrives: the coronal mass ejection. A billion-ton cloud of magnetized plasma. If its magnetic field is oriented southward, it creates a direct gateway for the CME's immense energy to pour into our planet's system. This triggers a global geomagnetic storm of unprecedented intensity, and the aurora expands to cover the entire globe. The sky would light up not just in the north, but everywhere. A celestial light show of apocalyptic beauty. The storm induces powerful, uncontrolled electrical currents in the Earth's crust. These GICs seek the path of least resistance, our power grids. This rogue DC electricity enters and saturates the core of extra-high voltage transformers, causing them to catastrophically overheat. The result is not a simple trip switch, it is the physical destruction of the transformer itself. This creates a cascading failure that rips through the grid. Within an hour, continental-scale blackouts begin. These transformers are custom-built. Replacing the thousands destroyed would take not months, but years, perhaps a decade. As the blackout cascades, data centers switch to diesel backup generators. But with supply chains broken, fuel deliveries are halted. One by one, the server farms hosting the world's websites, financial data, and cloud services would power down. The powered repeaters on undersea fiber optic cables fail, and the physical internet ceases to be a global network. The sum of human knowledge, the engine of global commerce, and the primary means of social connection would vanish. In the immediate hours, the primary human response would be profound confusion. The silence would be the most unsettling part. With payment systems dead, supermarkets would be early targets. The first instinct for many would be self-preservation. Hospitals are thrown into chaos. When fuel runs out, ventilators and dialysis machines stop. Medicine reverts to basics. Water treatment and pumping stations fail. Taps run dry. Firefighting is crippled. The mass, anonymous society of a metropolis would fracture. People would rely on their immediate neighbors, pooling resources, and sharing information. The concept of wealth, as defined by numbers on a screen, would become meaningless overnight. The value of an item would become tied directly to its utility for survival. Food, water, tools, and fuel become the new currency. All digital debts, mortgages, corporate bonds, student loans, would become unenforceable and irrelevant. A mechanic's ability to fix a generator would be more valuable than a banker's knowledge of financial derivatives. The economy is reset to zero. The sudden shutdown of industrial activity would have its own dramatic environmental effects. Global pollutant emissions would plummet. However, the damaged ozone layer would persist for years, allowing harmful UV radiation to reach the surface, impacting crops and health. Over time, nature would begin to reclaim the silent infrastructure. The planet would begin a process of healing from the industrial age. Humanity would survive, but in a world that is simpler, slower, and far more local. New societies would prioritize robustness over fragile efficiency. The sun did not attack us, it simply reminded us of the rules of the cosmos. This scenario is a predictable failure mode, and predictable failures can be mitigated. Hardening the grid and creating strategic reserves of critical components could transform a civilization-ending event into a severe but manageable disaster. The ultimate resilience of our civilization may not lie in our advanced technology, but in our ability to function without it. The sun will, inevitably, have another tantrum. The question is whether we will be ready when it does. What scenario should we explore next? Share your ideas below. You've been watching IfVerse, where imagination meets possibility. See you in our next reality.